Sell now.
Easy as that, baby.
Just like that. I can't even believe it. It's just, we're only less than 20 days away from Thanksgiving.
Isn't that crazy?
It's just so fast. This whole month's moving. This whole year's moving.
It's already, the 9th today or something like that?
Yeah.
It's like, it's a third over. The month is a third over. Christmas is going to be here before you know it.
Yeah, Black Friday, all that stuff. Oh, you know what? We got to get a recap on the wedding. How did it go down?
Oh, brother, I'll tell you what. That wedding was fantastic. Dylan, you were there. What'd you think of it? I'm a little biased because I paid for it. It was my daughter.
A damn fine wedding.
Do we have the clip that we can play of Doug giving his speech? Can we play that next segment? Maybe we'll get that.
If Chris can figure out how to put it up there, but
yeah,
can you do that?
I'll tell you what. I'll try to pull it up for the next segment.
Because I don't want to ruin it. I was about to give part of the speech because I loved it so much, but it might be better from your own mouth.
Yeah, well, it's more from my daughter's mouth. I would imagine if that's the one you're thinking about.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna say it. Okay. Doug opens his speech.
Yeah.
First of all, it's like 8:30 at night. Everybody's been there for 4 hours. They've eaten. They've been drinking a little bit. Everybody's having a good time. It was way
too long. Before you get into that, the reason it happened that way, unfortunately, something happened with the wedding planner who's been involved for the last year, and that morning she couldn't make it.
So
what?
So she it was something personal happened, and so. She wasn't able to make it, and so the timing of everything got a little bit off.
Yeah, isn't she supposed to be like J-Lo with a little headset running around the background, making sure everything goes off on cue?
Yep, and she had some fill-ins, and they God bless them, they did a good job.
It was good. Yeah, I'm not trying to complain.
No, but the timing of everything was significantly off, and finally I'm like. I went up to the DJ. I'm like, you got to get this show on the road, bro. And want to know why?
Why?
Because I couldn't relax.
Oh,
I knew I had to do this speech.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, I want to get it over with so I can relax and have a drink and talk. In the meantime, I'm sitting there trying to think of what I'm going to say. I mean, I had some bullet points that I wanted to say. But things just came. It was cool when I got up there. Things just came to me, and it just flowed. And it was pretty cool. But
the best thing that came to him though is obviously it had been a couple hours. 4 people had just given some quick speeches, and it was very heartfelt, quiet undertones, and it was a little bit like just the whole mood was relaxed and quiet.
Yeah.
And Doug comes up and just starts bringing the energy. As soon as it's like, everybody's clapping, cheering. Me and Damon are in the corner.
Damon and I
are in the corner, just screaming at the top of our lungs, and Doug's, just walking back and forth like
all
a
that
caged
energy that you had built up for all that time. You were now letting it go.
Oh yeah,
like a caged big cat, just walking back and forth in his cage, and he just goes, I'm the father of the bride. I'm Doug Hopkins, and I want to buy your house. And the whole place just goes absolutely bonkers. Yeah. Just top to ceiling. Everybody's up and down. Just next level hilarious. And from then on, he gives an awesome 20-minute speech that we'll have to post online. I think you might have posted some of it to Facebook.
I posted some clips. I don't know how to do an 18-and-a-half-minute speech.
That's a long speech. Yeah.
Was that in your bullet point list?
What's that?
Or that just came to you randomly?
That just came to me.
Yeah,
it came to me a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
And I didn't know whether I was going to do it or not.
Okay.
And because I didn't want to be fall on its face, or people what are they talking about? Because half the people are coming in from other places and
may not have seen commercials, all that stuff. Yeah.
So, but I'd say 85% of the people were from Arizona, and so they all got it. And even people I didn't know that were on the groom side. They were even laughing and cheering it on. It was pretty cool.
That's awesome, dude. You know what? I'm seeing you all over again. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
The commercials have stopped for political, and that means
isn't that great?
There's so much stuff I didn't know I needed. No. There's products and services that I'm unaware of. So thank God.
How did you survive without it?
Right?
You wait. I got some new commercials that are going to be coming out.
Oh, maybe ones with this.
Yeah.
Get down, buddy.
You were ready to go on that one,
I
weren't
was
you?
ready, man. Don't call me asleep at the wheel.
Yeah.
So, wow. So the wedding went fantastic. I saw Kayla look like she was just beautiful. The whole services went well. And so anybody get crazy?
No, not too bad.
No drunk uncle?
No.
I got pretty crazy. I had like 3 hot dogs at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that was one of the best things ever, huh? Right? So I'm like, I said to Kayla, I said, we had talked about having a food truck come in, around 9 o'clock because the wedding goes to 11.
Oh, yeah.
We ate at like 5:30.
People are going to be hungry.
And so,
Drinking.
people will be drinking and dancing. And so they said, well, there was it's a Saturday night, so the food trucks are in last minute. Mm-hmm. But I called a place called the Wiener Wagon. It's a hot dog cart.
Oh, God. Good, thank God.
Yeah. And they did an awesome job. It was very affordable. They were able to go last minute. And the hot dogs were great. And I'll tell you, some of those steaks were cooked pretty rare, so it was pretty cool to see. There was a lot of people that don't like their steaks rare.
So they were like, hot dogs, thank God.
Yes, exactly.
It was really good. Yeah, I had to slow myself down. I was like, I've already had 3. I should probably save some for the rest of the people out there.
When he was packing up shop, I paid him, and I'm like, "Do you have any left? I'd love to have one more." He goes, I got 15 left. I just called everybody. I'm like, "Hey, everybody's got 15 dogs left. Actually, 14. I'm taking one." They were gone in about 30 seconds.
That was fun.
That's awesome. So did Kayla take off for any kind of a honeymoon type thing, or they got postponed?
No,
something
thankfully
like that?
she didn't. She just came down with COVID.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So a week later, so I think she got it after the wedding, but yeah, she's at home unfortunately because she was on a high and just even 4 days after the wedding, she was
still floating.
Still floating.
So amazing.
It was what's great to see. It was the most happy I've ever seen her in my entire life. You know, she was, and that just made me so happy.
Isn't that all we're doing this for? Is keep our kids happy, to give them those moments.
She had it was incredible. They both said her husband Mark is a fantastic human being as well, and they both said it was best night of their lives. And that's what it should be.
Yeah,
that's what weddings are for.
Well, it couldn't have been the best because you didn't play this. We got to get that to the DJ of every event you're at, dude.
The DJ did come up to me, and that was pretty cool. He said he sought me out because I was on the other side of the room. He came running over to me at the end of the night, and he said, "Hey, I just want to let you know I do a lot of these weddings." Because that was the best Father of the Bride speech I've ever heard.
Wow.
And that made me feel really good because I stressed out about it a ton.
Yeah.
I mean, even sitting there at the table knowing, and I was going to go up in about 5 minutes, I just started a trance and I just started telling myself, I'm a great storyteller and that I'm going to bring the house down.
You actually had to pregame yourself to get you 100%.
ready. 100%.
That's awesome.
You're not a crier, are you?
Yes, I am. In fact, I didn't. I had $100 bet with Kevin actually that I wasn't going to cry, and he said, "Absolutely, you're going to cry." And I cried. I probably, rehearsed that speech 15 times, and I had about 15 different results. Because every time it would be different. Because I just had bullet points because I wanted to really tell stories.
Yeah.
And but that sometimes something comes in your head and you start veering off into this other story or whatever. And that's exactly what I did. Is I just went off into all these different things, and I cried every single time I rehearsed it.
Yeah,
but I think I was so amped up. I came close twice.
Really?
I was so
like
amped up.
in the back of your throat. It's right there.
Oh, it was right there. Yeah. And I just made a joke out of it. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Yeah. And Lynn, who works for me, she's yelling, "Cry, cry, cry!"
They had a cheering section, huh? That's awesome.
They're also taking bets on how long it would be. I did not know this until after the fact. I know Margaret, Kevin's wife, won it.
I would have bet if I would have known.
I definitely would have gone with the over, whatever that was.
Yeah. Well, none of my speeches went over 13 and a half minutes when I was preparing.
And so how long did this one go?
18 and a half.
I need 20 minutes. That's all I can. Just quick 20 minutes.
We said it would be 2 segments of
Yeah.
the show. We said 20 minutes on the radio show.
Yeah.
You basically
Came
did
close.
it. You came close.
Hey, a bit of a talker there, Doug.
Yeah. I did. People think I'm because I'm on the radio and I'm on TV that I should be a great public speaker. Mm-hmm. I am not a great public speaker. I'm horrible in my eyes. I mean, Ryan, in CG, Collective Genius, which is a group that Ryan and I belong to, I won't even go up on stage and give a presentation because I'm so nervous about it.
Yeah.
So when I was in 8th grade, I went up and to give an oral presentation, and I completely froze and sat down. I got a D-. I got about, 2 paragraphs in and just completely everything went blank.
That's not an F?
No. I think
That's a caring teacher,
it was
right?
8th grade, and they were just like, "I understand. We'll give you a D-." The first two sentences were great, Doug. So,
But Doug, that's before you became like worldly known as a spokesperson. What's going on?
It always stays with you.
Does it?
It always stays with you. I even when I'm going up and I know this stuff, I get very, very nervous. When I go on the news channels, I get extremely nervous. But I would really, once I grab the mic, I'm usually good. But just the lead up to it is horrible.
Wow. Sell now.
Yes.
So got a special guest in the studio right now. Ryan is from
Boise.
Boise. It's
Boise.
Boise. Yeah,
Very
you're supposed to say
important.
it.
Boise.
Yeah, Boise.
I've always said it Boise.
Boise.
See, you'd sound exactly like a Californian then.
Yeah.
Ew,
Do not insult me like
gross.
that.
Gotta be careful.
Do not insult
Or
me
a
like
New
that.
Yorker. Come on, Boise over there.
How's the market over there, Boise? Boise.
It's followed similar to Phoenix. It's a little weird.
Did it get really super hot and go like nuts?
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
then drop a little bit?
Absolutely.
Are you back up then?
Yeah, we're about to where we were at peak. So June 2022, we're about back to where we were, but it dropped for sure.
What is like the average price or the median price?
About 550.
Okay.
Little above
so
us.
it's even up. Yeah.
What's the
that's
median
100 grand
price?
above us.
Yeah.
Yeah, median is about 550.
Okay,
Yep.
because our median at the peak was 475, and we're now at 438. So we're still not back to peak numbers.
Oh, wow,
Where
okay.
we were at.
How's inventory there?
It's about two and a half months.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, we've grown up. Where were you? 22,000 now?
22,000 units are currently in our MLS. Yeah.
And they said that we're just about a little over 3 months inventory. So they said we're back to even now, I guess. So you guys are actually a little bit hotter than that.
Yeah, we actually it was pretty surprising this year seasonally. Of course, we see inventory, peak around October, November-ish, and then start declining because of the holidays and everything. This year it peaked like first week of September, so way seasonally earlier.
Oh.
That could mean inventory is a lot lower to start the year, and things start off hotter to start the year.
Gotcha.
That's what we. Yeah.
And you do exactly what we do. You
Yes.
go and
Yeah, I
you
was just gonna
buy
say.
homes and So they
Same stuff, huh?
Same exact thing. Yep.
and Ryan, which is unbelievable. He runs his whole show from London, England. He lives in London most of the time.
Wait, why?
Yes.
Why? Why?
Why? The weather sucks. They have terrible food.
Right?
They have this stuff called tea. Yeah. I mean, come on. What are we doing here?
But they got some good pubs.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
If you like drinking, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. My wife got a 5-year visa with her company. So we have a 2.5-year-old daughter, and we thought, let's go do it now. Let's go experience it. Why not? So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
You didn't have to get through the whole learning a new language though, so that's kind of cool.
That is nice.
What about driving on the wrong side of the road?
I don't even bother driving. I don't even have a car over there.
When I went over there, so I met Ryan a few months ago. I went out there on vacation, and we met up, and I was just even getting in the cars, getting a taxi, whatever it may be. I was so confused, and then I'm like, "What are you doing?" Like driving on the wrong side of the road. It was so freaky to me, and the roads are so small. I mean, everything is so old there, so everything is so much smaller and older, and it's just a completely different culture. How long did it take you to adjust to that culture there?
Oh man. Well, all the British slang words, quite some while. I'm still learning. Right?
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. They call stuff. Everything there is different.
Oh
huh?
yeah, you bloody plonka, and you words that you don't know if they're complimenting you, if they're insulting you. You don't know what's going on. But, no, it wasn't as big of an adjustment as I think the rest of Europe. What I've learned about the British is they're actually a lot more similar to us than they are the rest of Europe.
Got it.
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, we came from there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Before we wanted freedom.
Yeah.
And that was just over a tea tax, right?
Right.
You know, and now look at us, how much taxes we're paying. Like, what happened to that fight? You know?
Right.
It
just always blows me away to see how many things they can figure out how to tax us on. You know what I mean? It's first you get paid, they tax you on that, then you happen to spend your money, they tax you when you spend it, and then
when
if
you die, they tax you on it.
You happen to keep it, they're going to get it when you're dead. It's crazy.
Everywhere you look, man. Everywhere you look.
So, what was the biggest thing to adjust to when you went over to England?
Yeah, the wrong side of the road is definitely a thing. I think it's just this. Yeah, it's the mindset of socialism versus free market capitalism. So the mindset over there, where they're born and raised at a young age, that the government is supposed to take care of me.
Okay,
right?
so they're more set up into that mindset, huh?
Totally, yeah. Not I'm going to take care of myself, and it's so deeply ingrained in how they were raised and everything. It's not. They're not even aware that
they do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow,
that's interesting.
Yeah,
that's where we were on our way to. It looked like sort of up till last weekend, whether you like it or not.
Yeah,
but,
I got to tell you, it's amazing that they elected a Republican and they got a whole bunch of good Democrats that I wanted in there. I'm like, wow. So my most amazing thing is going to be if Musk said that there's a chance that he can cut $2 trillion from our budget yearly, and that all Americans wouldn't even feel it. That's groundbreaking. Could you even imagine losing $2 trillion in tax money that we pay that just goes woof out into nowhere land?
This election, and I don't want to get political here.
No.
At all.
It has nothing to do with that, but the finances, I think it's amazing.
I'll tell you. Yeah, you think Kevin's not here.
Yeah.
So,
we actually made Kevin stay home. Yeah. Like, you can't come.
Cut off his mic.
But what I liked most about Trump was not Trump.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with Trump.
Exactly my whole thought, too.
It had to do with Elon Musk. It had to do with
Elon Musk,
RFK
Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, anti-war.
Which is exactly, you got a whole platform of people that
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Whether I'm right or wrong, I trust to, pull us out of where we're at and make better decisions than somebody that has not done that and not proven themselves over the last 4 years. And I'll leave it at that. I don't want to say anything back, because half the people voted one way, half the people voted the other.
Yeah.
And it was most people are in the middle. Most people like myself are in the middle. I voted both. I voted Democrat.
Same
I voted
here.
Republican.
Absolutely.
I am not this staunch right guy.
And I think I made
like
Republicans mad with some of the things I voted on this time, and I know I made Democrats mad with some of the things I voted on this time.
Absolutely, with some of those questions and stuff like that.
In Arizona, you can have an abortion. Arizonans voted for abortion, but they also voted for stronger border enforcement, right? So it's interesting that Arizonans
it stinks that it has to be one side or the other, right?
But you can see that Arizona didn't do that.
Yeah.
They didn't just vote down party lines.
We're normal people here for the most part.
Go figure.
We're most people are in the center.
Yeah.
And they have their beliefs on one thing and another, and it stinks when those don't align. If you have someone that's saying abortion, but they believe every other thing on the other side, and say, well, I'm just going to vote this because I don't like abortion.
Yeah,
I think
a lot of people had to weigh a lot of decisions. Like for me, you had war on one side, you had abortion on the other side. Those are both very big things. I don't want people to die, so that's a big thing to me. And so I had both sides pulling, and I think everybody had the same stuff happening on their end too.
Yeah. But I think.
$2 trillion,
we'll
though,
see.
dude. I'm so excited.
I'm excited for the future.
Yeah,
and I'm hoping that
if he can catch a rocket out of thin air, then he's got to find money like you wouldn't believe.
He's got a fight on his hands, I'm sure. He has so much hatred coming his way, and he's just a polarizing figure.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
And I'm hoping that the people he surrounds himself this time, that he learned from the first term. And
dude, he put on for his chief of staff this lady Sue that is amazing.
Everybody that's ever been around her says she's incredible.
The first woman chief of staff
in United States history.
Yep.
But he supposedly hates women. I mean, it's just the lies on both sides are just absolutely insane.
Let's be realistic here. He's the only guy to beat the first woman president twice. So he did beat two women trying to be president.
Boy. I'm seeing a pattern here.
Yeah, that's an email. DylanMartin@DougHopkins.com.
All bad email. Please know where you're sending that. DILLON, not DY.
Just Dylan at DougHopkins.com.
No, Dylan Martin.
480-498-8000.
Yeah, you can call and get right through to him, man. Oh, my goodness. How crazy is that? So did you get to use the house over the course of the weekend at all?
I did not. The house is not done.
Ooh.
No, the house is probably about a month out.
About a month out still? You didn't even get to go out there and like show it off or anything like that?
I did go out. Yeah, I mean it's a lot of the finishes are in. The cabinets are in. The flooring's in. The showers are in.
Can you play pickleball?
I cannot play pickleball. That'll be one of the last things that goes in. Yeah, that'll be one of the last things that goes in.
They couldn't even get your pickleball court ready?
No. They're grading the driveway right now to put the pavers down. That was supposed to be done 2 weeks ago.
I was going to say, weren't we talking about that a month ago?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I got to know what's you with your real estate experience and background. What's been the biggest surprise in dealing with this?
The ineptitude of people.
Yeah,
honestly, how you can dig a mountainside multi-million-dollar house and not compact the soil just is mind-boggling to me.
Don't compact the soil.
Yeah.
Got to do that.
Yeah.
Sell now. If you have any complaints, that's where I will be receiving them. And get in line, take a number. I'm sure there's going to be a couple, but we'll get to you in a couple of hours. It's a government agency, so it's really efficient.
So you know what? I forgot to ask about this, but it says National Real Estate Services platform Fathom Realty has acquired Arizona-based brokerage My Home Group.
That is absolutely 100% correct. It's,
wow.
I'm really excited. I actually got a chance to. Fathom is in, I think, 42 states right now and on its way to 50. And I think they have close to 10,000 agents now around the country.
Okay.
And they acquired My Home Group, which is a company I work for. I got the chance to talk with the CEO. Gave me a call last week and gave me a heads up that this was happening, and it's pretty exciting. Of the programs they have, and there's a lot of companies out there that have like a downline, which means if you have you hire other agents, or refer other agents, then you get a piece of their action when they do deals, and that's what kind of Real has that. EXP, there's some other companies that have that. I think Keller Williams.
Keller Williams.
Yeah.
Keller Williams was the original one too.
Yeah, exactly.
Profit sharing is what they refer it to.
Exactly, and so that My Home Group didn't have that, and they would lose some of their agents because it's an awesome company to work for, but they didn't have that. And now bringing Fathom in, we actually have that opportunity now, which is pretty exciting.
That is cool to give you. Do you get either option now? You can do one or the other, or?
Whatever you want. Nothing's changing. My Home Group is going to stay the same. They're not changing the name. It's not going to become Fathom. Everything stays the same. The owners, Mark and Jeremy, are staying on board.
I saw that. Yeah, that's what it said. And that they, over the 20 years since the company's grown to over 2,200 agents, they're liking what's going on. So I imagine they're not going to change it.
Yeah, it's been great. I've worked here now for 3 years has it been? But about 3 years?
We did July of 22, so 2.5.
Down here? Yeah, 2.5 years. And I'll tell you, I've never been happier. It's
good people.
It's really good people, and they let me do my thing. Yeah, they have all the support we need. Our paperwork is done. Everything is done. In time, processed is done. The people they work for, that work for them, all the people behind the scenes of the contracts or whatever, do a wonderful job. All the brokers, very, very quick to get back to you. It's been great.
Wow. Well, before we get into more real estate, I did want to bring this up. We had talked about the wedding, and I have some audio from you. And so let's get this thing out here. Let's see if I can get this to play.
No, not yet.
I just farted.
What? What'd you say?
Tell him. I just farted.
This is your daughter.
Tell her how many times.
2
Tell her
times.
how loud it was.
Wicked.
We're going to play this at your wedding.
It was.
Did you actually play that at her wedding?
So I wish I'd set that up a little bit better.
Yeah, my bad.
Oh no, all good. So about 2 weeks before the wedding, my sister calls me. She was going through because TJ is turning 21, and we actually went out to TJ's her son, and we actually went out to Maryland, and Kayla was 4, and she found that video while she was looking for all the TJ stuff.
She has to be what? Kayla was 2, 3 at that point?
She was probably 3, and 3 or 4 probably, because he's turned 21 and she's She was born in January of 2000, so 4, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And
so little.
Yeah. So she sends this over to me and just screenshots it from her TV, and I'm like, she's like, you have to play this at the wedding, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And so I'm like, well, where is it? And she goes, well, it was on a VHS, and now it's on a DVD. And I'm like, I called Chris up. I'm like, Chris, can you do anything with a DVD? And he's like, yeah, give it to me. Let me see what I did. And Chris was able to put the rating on, And,
dude, you're
that.
a wizard, Chris.
Yeah,
And
I
made
just
it
couldn't
into a
believe
file.
that you caught something from like when she was 3 years old.
Yeah, my sister gets all the credit, and with me saying that I'm going to play this at your wedding, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. So I played that at her wedding, and it went over very, very well. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, man.
She was so happy to I was worried that she was being upset. I actually thought maybe
Your
it
daughter's
wasn't
cool. She's
yeah.
not like that.
No, she was laughing her butt off. It was great. So yeah, it was just a great time. She had such a good time. It went perfect.
Wow. Hey, mortgage rates. Can you believe this? They're going to go up again. Fed cut the rate for the prime number and what have you, which means usually that sends our mortgage rates up, right?
Yeah, the banks are happy.
Banks are happy, but I mean, if you're going to go buy a house, you need to get in there before they start messing with your rate again. I'm telling you.
Yeah, we need Kevin here for this.
Yeah.
Describe what.
Dylan,
what
didn't
the
you
heck
say you
is
got a
going
chance
on
to
there.
talk to him on Friday?
Yeah, before he got super busy with a bunch of loans, and we had to put him in his own corner because of his election tinfoil hat stuff.
Or he's at another wedding himself. In
Yeah,
Vegas.
that's
He's
actually what's
He's in Vegas right now. Yeah.
Come on, we could have let that one roll for a little while. At least.
No, but Kevin thinks that the Fed lowering the rates is actually not the right decision right now. The job report came out and it was weaker than expected.
And they've been revising them like for the last 6 months too, down.
Correct. And so, nervous that with lowering rates that will spur inflation more. So it's a tough thing that I don't really know the solution to. Everybody wants cheaper rates, but if rates come down a ton, that means people have more money to spend. That means inflation becomes more of a problem. So it's this balance of giving people affordability and not having inflation rear its ugly head, right? So we'll see. Time will tell exactly how this plays out. But Kevin, which is not quite Nostradamus, but close, he thinks that this is not quite the right play. But I'm glad. I hope that mortgage rates come down.
I'm hoping for the same thing, and it's interesting because we have that came down on Thursday. On the day before that, the Dow shot through the roof, like 1,300 points up. I mean, it looks like that the stock market loves the decision that America made.
Well, I know Bitcoin does.
Oh my goodness! How rich have you gotten off of your investment there, buddy? Because that thing's going up right now.
I know my $2,000 in Bitcoin turned into like 2,300.
Woohoo, dude! You're buying lunch.
Yeah.
You better get that hot dog truck right back here, man.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. I could have paid for 2 hot dog trucks.
Wow. Well, with you doing the build on the new house, I wanted to ask you about this. I came across a.
You just want to get me all heated up this morning, don't you?
Actually, I went to a place where I know this place gives you heated up articles. So, Phoenix Agent Magazine, wet rooms. They say the evolution of the bathroom. People have now moved from calling it a bathroom to a wet room, and there's an actual design difference. Have you heard of this?
No, Chris, I have not heard of this. I've never heard anybody call a bathroom
goodness.
a wet room.
Is that a London thing? Is that a European
I
thing?
was going to ask Doug. I think
They
wet
call it a
room
water
might mean
closet,
something
don't they?
else.
That's what I thought. I'm like, where are you going with this?
Easy now, big guy. So it says 13% of people renovating homes said that they've decided that's 1 in 8 have opted for a wet room aesthetic over a traditional bathroom setup in 2024. What is a wet room?
Yes, I'd like to know.
It means the entire room from the doorway to the shower and everything in between exists in an open floor plan that's entirely waterproof. A lot of the snail showers and things like that are starting to there's no doors, nothing that stops the water from finding its way to everywhere.
Oh, interesting. They should come to my house around 6:30 at bath time because my kids think that we have a wet room.
Yeah.
My 3 daughters, just the entire thing is wet. Like, I don't know. So, yeah, I have one of those. It's pretty nice.
You got one, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a splash pad.
You didn't even know, but you are in the now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I would prefer that over some of these houses I go into that has carpeting in
the
whole
bathroom?
including where the toilet is. And
Oh, God.
You cannot do that.
Whoa! Just don't miss.
Yeah,
You don't like carpet on the floor when it's all
nice and
chilly.
When
wet
crunchy?
and
No.
crunchy. Getting out of the
You need to work on
it.
your aim, Doug.
Oh my gosh, no! I don't have that, so I wouldn't. But I've been in several of them that do, and it's not a good look.
Yeah, as soon as we go into a house and we're taking pictures, if there are shell sinks in the bathroom,
those are
or
hot.
if there's carpet in the bathroom, I know this is going to be a complete gut job. We're going to have to renovate the whole thing.
The entire thing, huh?
You know, I understand the carpet in the bathroom. I get it because in the winter when it's cold, like now it's been chilly in the mornings.
Yeah.
I get out and put your feet
Tile
on that
floors are
tile.
cold.
It's cold. It's cold. That it would be nicer. I can't wait to get off the tile and onto the carpet. With my wet feet, but it's just not practical at all in any way, shape, or form.
What do you think of this wet room concept, though?
Yeah.
Because it's not. It feels like it's kind of overthinking things.
It's
know?
weird.
You got to walk in there with bare feet, or if you're wearing socks, your feet are gonna get all wet.
Well, they're not saying the whole place
Do
is
they
going to
keep
be
the
wet the whole
water
time.
like on the floor always?
No, they're usually separating, but not by any kind of walls. So what you're seeing that they have the shower, but it's got a tile side, and instead of putting the glass up in the door, they left it open so that it feels like an open concept. And
Oh, I was thinking like little rubber duckies, like a duck pond, maybe with some like a water feature.
An
Just keep
oasis?
it going. Yeah, that would be
a
an
tiny
oasis.
pool there for you.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to go look up pictures of these. What are they called? Wet rooms?
They're called wet rooms.
Yeah.
I just figured that we're here to help the people that are renovating get the cool new stuff. And according to this, the cool new stuff is wet room. What did you put in your new house?
Not a wet room. I got glass.
Sell now.
Yes, sir. So I wanted to find out, Brian, a little bit more about your company and business. It's just so unique to have you running a company that's in Boise, Idaho, and buying houses in Boise, Idaho, and you live in London, England.
Yes.
That's just like a cool
Do
story.
you fly back and forth?
I do. Yeah, about once a month. Yeah.
What does that look like? You fly from Heathrow to
To Denver usually.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was going to imagine there's no direct
no
flight.
direct. No. Boise's small.
Yeah.
Right. So if you've never been there, it's what I would imagine Denver to be like 30 years ago. It's still right over 1 million people. So it's still a pretty small market. Yeah.
Gotcha. So how does that work? You're running the business. What is your day to day? Because you also have a time delay as well.
Yeah. So I'll say we moved over with rose-colored glasses. Right.
Yep.
We moved over in the middle of. It was like actually right when interest rates were changing.
Okay.
So, we're moving over. Okay, 3 nights a week I'll work into the evening because of the time difference. And then the other 4 I'll be on London time. And quite the opposite happened.
Oh, really?
When interest rates changed, the big adjustment, it was all hands on deck, right?
Yeah.
So right now I usually start my day around like 2 p.m. It goes until like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that's, I'm sure it took a while to get used to.
What does that line up with in here or in Boise?
Mountain time. Yeah.
Okay, so you're basically 9 to 5 mountain time?
Yeah, ish. Yep. So
you the one making the decisions when like someone goes out and says, okay, I'm going to buy this house, or Ryan, how much are you making the number call and like how much you're going to spend on that house?
my COO Corey will do that now,
Okay.
and he's local to the U.S., so
Gotcha.
luckily that helps there. So
Got it. So what's your like day to day when you're in say when you're not here and you're up in London? What does that look like?
yeah, so work wise, it's a lot of morning meetings, and then in the afternoons, I'll typically do a podcast or marketing content or hiring. It's a big one because we're really growing our sales team right now. So
Nice.
hiring, lots of time.
Are you doing listings as well, or just buys and
We are not actually. So that's something we've been talking to you guys about potentially implementing. But yeah, we don't have any agents or anything like that.
Gotcha.
Right
So
now.
you're not monetizing any of the leads
No.
that come in if you can't
No.
buy their house.
We're wasting money.
You can see Doug look at that way too.
Exactly.
Well, we did for a while. I mean, that's the whole reason I bought Dylan on.
Yeah.
That was what I'm like. boy, it stinks that these people have a nice house and I don't have any other way to take care of them.
And think about what that changed the way that you looked at each one of the deals that came up too, because it changed from you looking at each one as just being this little focus. Then Dylan came on. Then all of a sudden your ability just broadened out like mad to where your options for people now are unheard of. You can get a cash offer, you can list your place, there's just the stuff that nobody ever thought of doing before.
Yeah.
It's all about the options, right? And I got to sit down
we're
with
not a one trick pony.
Yeah. And think of how much different that is now. I mean, the money and you're also able to really help people, which is really the goal out of this whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. At the end of the day, our core business is we buy homes for cash, right? But not everybody fits into that business model. That is not the only solution that works for every single seller out there. So we have to have different options to be able to help people. And that's what I was able to sit down with Corey.
Yeah.
And, everybody has an idea of, we have an agent that we partner with or we'll send some referrals over. And when I showed him the numbers of, oh, wow, Dylan's team of agents were able to help 170 people in the last 90 days. They signed 54 contracts, in October alone. Oh, wow. That's a whole asset to the company that can really help people. And not only does it, bring in revenue, but it also builds a whole bunch of public trust. They see Doug Hopkins signs all over the valley, right? They get to have a bunch of really positive reviews that say, hey, Doug Hopkins met with me. He went over the options, or they went over the options, and they said, hey, the cash offer can't quite get where you want to be. Right? If you need this number, right, we can help you. We have a whole launch program that is specifically designed to sell our own homes that we can plug you into and maximize your profit. So it's cool to be able to give those people options and really sit down and help them, get exactly what they want, the timeline that they want, the money they want, and the amount of headache, right? Because if they want to have no commissions, no closing costs, no fees, no inspections, no appraisals, no having to clean up the property, then the cash offer is the way to go.
Right.
It's awesome. And yeah, there's a little bit of a haircut for all of that convenience, but there's 50 people a month that want that solution. And for those others, no problem. We can help you out. We have an awesome program that sells those renovated properties that we'll plug your home into, and it's way different than just a traditional listing. It's cool.
Ryan, I'm curious. How did you get? Why Boise? Did you live there? Were you there in Boise first? Or?
So Corey was born and raised in Boise. So I grew up in Colorado, actually.
Okay.
I was an engineer. My background's in engineering. So when I was working in oil and gas and then semiconductor, I was tired of it. I was flying all over the world. I was traveling like 70% of the time. It was cool as a young single guy, and then obviously that fades away and becomes burdensome. We were just looking for a cheaper place to buy a couple rental properties, and that's how it got started. It was really that simple. That was
how long ago was that?
That was 2017.
Okay.
Yep.
And it's how much? It's probably doubled since then.
Over
maybe
doubled.
more. Yeah,
over doubled.
Yeah.
Yeah, median price point in Boise back then was about $250, $275.
Wow.
Yeah.
In
They're
17?
$550 now.
Yeah,
That's a huge jump in that many
massive.
years.
Well, that's what we did
Probably
too.
the same here. Yeah.
Yeah, we've
we
gone
just
up
haven't hit all the way
200.
to 550. I mean, my goodness, if we
That's
were
true.
up that high, I mean, that's an extra $100,000 to that.
Yeah.
Is there housing? Is there a housing crisis there as well? Is there a shortage of housing? I would imagine so.
There is, yeah. There's there's very few starter homes, and the trade up market is really kind of non-existent with where rates are at right now. So you really have this like lack of starter home availability, and then you have your luxury market, which there's not a ton of buyers in right now, unless you're like moving from California, Washington, Oregon.
Got it. Did the institutional buyers come up and buy a lot of those starter properties for rentals, or did you not get hit by the institutional buyers?
They did not. That's one of the downsides of Boise as an investor is rents have not, kept up with that kind of appreciation. So
Gotcha.
rent here is much stronger. I think the economy here in Phoenix is a lot more diverse. So it keeps that rent floor higher than it is in Boise. So.
Got it. What is like the main job source there, or like what keeps like here? Housing, honestly, is one of the biggest things. But what is Boise known for?
Yeah, healthcare. Also, Micron is headquartered there. That's a big semiconductor company that makes chips. Albertsons, a big grocery store. But other than that, it's kind of figuring out its way. Is it going to be like a tech city, kind of like Austin was, or is it going to have more grassroots like some other kind of Midwest style
I've
markets.
never been there, and I need to get up to
You
Boise.
should. It's
I
beautiful.
owned a house there for a bit.
No way.
Back in right before the crash. I think I bought it in 2006. It was a buddy of mine asked me to go in with him, and I said okay, and I bought it for half, and then he lost it because it was only in his name, and the market went to you know where in 2008, and that was all she wrote.
What's
I owned it for about a year.
Yeah. What's so appealing about Boise is you can still walk down the street and people will say hi to you, total strangers. So it's still got that really small town feel.
Yeah.
But you have all the basic amenities of a city. So
And the weather's temperate.
It's
pretty
kind
awesome.
of like that here. I think the people are nice here, especially moving out here from New York. And when
Oh, boy.
when all my family comes out here, they're like, "Oh my gosh, the people here are so nice." And I'm like, "It used to be a lot nicer, but
You guys kept coming.
yeah,
Enough people from Chicago and New York. That,
they're pretty. I mean, you go into the supermarkets, they're very nice. I mean, I think there's
We get enough transplants from the Midwest that they kind of bring that vibe out. And so when you're walking out of Circle K or whatever, you're going to see people saying hi and say, hey, thank you. And they're pleasant. It's just the way
people
it works.
hold the door open for you.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to New York and it's a culture shock.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
you go out there and if that
You
light
don't
turns
look at
green
anybody.
and you're not like literally on the gas, bam, bam. I mean, they're honking at you, screaming at you, giving you the finger. It's like, I waited one Mississippi bite. What the heck, man?
we're not in Mississippi. Go.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the big cities, that's just not how you want to be. It doesn't seem like how you would want to live.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't live. I like to go back to New York and visit New York. I was almost going to for the World Series, and I decided it was the week of the wedding. It was too much. I'm glad I didn't because I would have been very disappointed.
Yeah, you would have
Yeah.
paid all that money to see them lose.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Ryan, thank you very much for coming
Yeah,
on the
thanks for
show
having me.
today. It was
Yeah, Ryan,
it was
thank you.
great. Thank you for letting me play a clip of my daughter's wedding. It was pretty fun last week. Sorry, we missed Kevin this week. He's at another wedding up in Vegas, and we'll get him and get his thoughts on what's going on in the interest rates and the mortgage world next week. But for everyone listening, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your afternoon, and as always, happy investing.